I'm betting that most people will be watching this after the live stream is over. So yeah, y'all can feel free to skip through to the point when I read. But yeah, so if you've heard Revolution Tale, or if you haven't heard Revolution Tale, the Undertale AU has been transferred from comic into book style. And yeah, the creator knows that a lot of people are disappointed, but that's just how it is because they've been going through a lot of mental health issues and they don't have like the energy to create more of the comic. And so yeah, here is a narration of their story. Hold on, like get back to it. Yeah, be patient with me. It'll. There we go. All right. Okay, 136. 140. Okay. Revolution Tale Chapter 4 Part 2. So this is I'm going to do a very quick summary of Revolution Tale. So it takes place in a world where monsters and humans live in the same world, they all live in the overworld on Earth or whatever. Except it's like it takes place in a time period that's like the 1700s and or I guess a little bit after that, but it's basically where humans are like very racist and prejudiced against monsters, but the monsters just barely have rights. So think of like with black people when they like just barely had rights, but they still weren't allowed in like certain buildings, like, oh, we don't allow your kind in here, but they still were like able to walk around without chains. Think of that, where they just barely have rights. So yeah, that's the revolution. That's the world revolution tale. And in the story, Frisk is the child of the general, the human general, and Frisk almost gets run over by a horse, and then Sans saves them, and then Frisk follows Sans, and then Sans is like, no, you can't be around us, dude. And then Sans brings Frisk over to some human guards, and he's like, hey, you lost your kid, and they're like, oh, what are you doing with the general's kid? And then they arrest him, but then Frisk is like, no. And then Frisk goes to their daddy, and it's just like, no, daddy, the skeleton's innocent. And the daddy's like, oh, really? Then the daddy questions Sans, and Sans is like, yeah, I'm innocent. This is what happened. Because your humankind always comes to conclusions on their own. And the general's like, okay, I'll let you go. On one condition. he didn't threaten him, but he like really begged Sans to be like Frisk's babysitter in a way, so that the world could see that a monster and human can get along. And so, yeah, that's where it ended. Sans reluctantly agreed to sort of be Frisk's babysitter on some days. And then it ended with Frisk going home and talking to all their 6 siblings about it, the 6 siblings being the other 6 humans. So yeah, that is the summary of Revolution Tale, and now we are going to get to what happened after that. Here starts the narration at 420. Nice. Yeah. Revolution Tale, Chapter 4, Part 2, by Alamort Blatherskite. The night drew closely around the manor, dark and deep. Out there in the inky black where people were divided, you could almost taste the discontentment on the air. Mind you, off narration, mind you, this is the first time I'm reading this, so I've had no practice. So apologies if I like misread a sentence in the wrong tone or something. The cold stuck to skin and bone alike, leaving no doubt in the minds of the affected that a change would have to come. Whether naturally or by force was the only question left to answer. The knight crept up the stone side of the house, looking for a way in. This is so poetic. A way to carry its negative air to the people who resided within. but up on the second floor, it was forced to shrink away from a bright light and the sound of children laughing. 7 children, to be exact. Wink. All brought from different corners of the world to live as siblings under one roof. The oldest was named Theodore, who wore purple. Perseverance. Then came Azeli in dark blue, integrity, and Kara in green. Huh. That would be kindness. After that are Chunhei and Fernando in yellow and orange, respectively. Justice and bravery. Finally, yes, I'm a nerd. Okay, deal with it. Finally, the 2 youngest, Luam in light blue. Patience. And then Frisk, who you know already. Determination. They all laughed and clapped for Frisk, who had just finished a performance to inform the other children of their day. Frisk bowed dramatically and giggled. It had been a long day filled with adventure and new friends, and while it had been nice to see more of the world, it was also comforting to be back in the nursery with their siblings. All thoughts of sadness and worry from earlier that evening had gone, replaced with the excitement of what tomorrow would bring, tomorrow being the day that Sans would basically babysit Frisk. "What is all that noise?" Nanny asked from the door. She shifted a pitcher and basin in her arms skillfully, shutting the nursery door behind her with her foot. "Not having fun without me, I hope." She smiled warmly. "Nanny!" chorused 4 of the 7 children. I'm guessing the only ones that could talk. Fernando and Chunhei jumped to their feet and ran over to her. Azeli, Kara, and Luam close behind. Frisk and Theodore stayed behind on the beds watching from a distance. "Frisk was telling us about what happened today." Chunhei hopped along behind Nanny. "Is it true?" Azeli chimed in. Nanny reached her destination, a table opposite the bed, where Frisk sat. "Is what true?" she asked, putting a towel into the basin and pouring the warmed water from the pitcher over it. "Did the monsters save Frisk?" Nanny set the pitcher to the side. "Yes, I suppose he did, strange as it seems," she said, her voice soft and confused. It was odd to her that a monster would go out of its way, would go out of its way to protect a child. It was contrary to what the professor had told her, and the professor was never wrong. Everyone's human, dude. Well, not in this story. She shook her head slightly to clear it. "Frisk, come over here, please." Frisk hopped down off the bed, doing as instructed. "You missed bath time, so a quick wipe down will have to do." She picked up the toddler and set them down in a chair, wringing out the towel and wiping the child's face. "Huh, you're practically clean. How odd." Oh yeah, in the previous comic, when Frisk followed Sans after he saved them, they ended up at Toriel's house, and Toriel gave Frisk a bath because Frisk fell in mud, and so that's why Frisk is so clean right now. It's odd. You missed bath time, so you're practically clean. How odd! It's like you already had a bath today.
Does that mean that monsters aren't really bad guys?
Kara, it says act. Kara asked from the other side of the table. Luam was beside her, just his eyes peeking up over the edge. "What has the professor told you?" Nanny put the rag back into the towel. There was no point in cleaning a clean child.
Monsters.
Wait. "What has the professor told you?"
Monsters want to kill all humans.
They all recited a mantra they had memorized.
"But Frisk said they are going to be friends with the monster,"
Chunhei countered.
They also said all the monsters are nice, So are they bad guys or not?
Kara added. Beside her, Luam signed. They might have meant to say sighed. It's either that or Luam is deaf. But yeah. Take it as you will, I guess. Oh. Okay, yeah. So Luam's deaf. Beside her, Luam signed. And Luam wants to know if that means we can be friends with them too. That's right, I know a little sign. Flex.
And Luam wants to know if that means we can be friends with them too,
Kara translated. It's not as simple as that. From behind them came the voice of Theodore, one simple command. Explain. Nanny sighed. She knew now that Theodore was invested. She knew now that Theodore was invested. There was no way she would get out of the conversation. Once he had the desire to know something, nothing could stop him till he had an answer. Stubborn little fuck. Just kidding. Listen, my dears, she sat down, placing Frisk in her lap. The only thing you need to know is what the general tells you. He has everything under control. He knows what's best. All these thoughts on good or bad don't matter in the end. This is confusing because in the past chapters, the nanny was like an annoying bitch. And now suddenly she's all like,
I guess monsters aren't so bad.
But literally just a chapter later, or a chapter earlier, she was like, you disgusting little monster. Like, and now she's just randomly, whatever. What about what about Frisk making friends with the monsters? Fernando looked to Chunhei and she nodded.
Yeah, what about the general saying Frisk should be friends with them?
He has given Frisk a very important mission. Voice crack. Even if it doesn't make sense, it's what he has decided. So it's what will be done. All right?
Yes, Nanny.
The five of them coursed, Frisk and Theodore remaining silent. Except for that one thing he said. Good. Let's get you all into bed. She got to her feet as the children whined. Now, I let you stay up until Frisk got back. It's late. Time to sleep. Transitioning, damn it, what's it called? It starts with a P. Like, places, like, transitioning to the next place. I don't, someone tell me what the word is. It's, whatever. Transitioning to the next scene. It's kind of hard. Okay. Grilby's pub was full of life and noise despite the late hour. From inside, the light glowed warmly, inviting monsters off the streets for a bit of company and good food. It was a ramshackle building. What the hell's a ramshackle building? Like the others surrounding it, but on the outside was a nicely curved wooden sign stating its name proudly. It was probably the nicest looking bit of architecture in the slum, making the pub all the more inviting. Okay. I don't want to be too loud because people are sleeping. Undine's laugh bellowed above the rest of the noise. Sans, a nanny? Yeah, go ahead, laugh at my pain. Sans grumbled. Wait. Go ahead, laugh at my pain. Sans grumbled. He was leaning over the bar, resting his bony cheek on its smooth, polished surface. The coolness of the wood felt nice on his bruises. Huh. The candy had upped his HP, but it hasn't completely healed his injuries. Okay. I know a little retcon when I see one. He made a mental note to talk to Alphys. The recipe would need to be tweaked some. Oh man! Undine wiped a tear from her eye. What an image! You walk around with a little human on your heels, the spitting image of a mother hen. Between them, Papyrus was hiding his amused grin behind a mug of sarsaparilla. Don't know what that is. It can't be that odd of an idea. I mean, I did practically raise this guy. No, it can't be that odd of an. I mean, I did practically raise this guy. Sans wrapped his arm around Papyrus's shoulders. He turned out pretty okay. You mean great, Papyrus corrected. No one greater, Sans amended. Grilby set a plate down on the bar in front of Sans, then held out a fork. Geez, Grills. I only asked for a tomato. You didn't have to go cut it up and plate it. Wait. Last time I gave you a whole tomato, when you bit into it, you squirted juice everywhere. Grilby held out the fork again. Sans took it. You'll have to fork-give me for that. It was overly ripe. He skewered a wedge of tomato. Besides, I've gotten kind of used to being covered in tomato. In the previous chapter, when Sans was arrested, he was also tied to a pole and humans threw tomatoes at him. It was off screen, but it was like a punishment or something. Who's talking? Well, I have not, and we just got you clean, so you better be careful. Sans held his fork with his pinky out, then daintily took a small bite of his food, finishing off his act by dabbing his mouth with a napkin. Stop it, Papyrus said, swatting the brim of Sans' hat so it fell into his eyes. Sans laughed. When's the kid gonna show up? Undine asked. Sans paused, thinking back to the conversation. Did the general say anything about timing? Tomorrow. I'm trying to do like the mob boss accent that he had in the dub on YouTube. How much can y'all see of me? Not much. Okay, good. I know, but what time tomorrow? Sans shrugged. He didn't really say. He took his hat off and ran a hand over his skull. Actually, with all the talking he did, he didn't say much. So you don't know anything? That doesn't give us much to start with. I wouldn't say I don't know anything. I know that the professor... I don't know what I'm trying to do. I wouldn't say I don't know anything. I know that the professor didn't seem to like me very... Oh, okay. I know that the professor didn't seem to like me very much. Wait. Sans squinted suspiciously at Undine. What do you mean, not much to start with? For the plan. What plan? We tricked the kid into giving us information on the enemy. Now it was Sans' turn to look amused. What? You gain the kid's trust, then trick them into giving up information. It's a simple plan. Sans laughed. Information from a toddler? Yes. A simple plan? No, a plan made by a simpleton. Damn. Sans shrugged and trailed off eating more of his fruit. What was that you just called me? Undine got up from her stool. Her grip on the bar made the wood creak. Grilby laid his hand atop hers, causing her to hiss and pull her hand away. She took it to cool it off, then glared over at Grilby. He pointed at a sign behind him that read, "No fighting. Cool off or get burned." If you break my bar, I'll drag you up the mountain to chop me down a new tree to replace it. And you, he turned to Sans and glared, sparks flying from atop his head. Sans stopped snickering and put on a serious face. Sorry, Grills. I'll behave. Grilby walked away to a new patron, not taking his gaze from Sans, pointing a finger at him accusatory. Just kidding. The three friends sat in silence for a little bit, Undine taking deep breaths, trying to convince herself that taking Sans outside to dust him wasn't actually a great idea. Okay. Okay, as I was saying, you're going to gain the brat's trust. Then, when it likes you, you get it to spill the beans. Alright, let me know how that works for you. Sans hopped down off his stool. I'm going to bed. He yawned. Oh, no, you don't. Undine quickly overtook him with her long strides, blocking his way out. He can teleport, you know. We still have to go talk to Asgore. Sans let out an annoyed moan. Haven't I been interrogated enough for one day? Can we do this tomorrow?
Come on, come now, Sans. Papyrus placed a hand on his brother's shoulder. Asgore was kind enough to wait until now to talk to you so you could eat and clean up. Let's not make him wait anymore.
Finally, Sans nodded in agreement. Fine, let's go tell Asgore what I've been up to then. Alright, well, that was Revolution Tale Chapter 4, Part 2. If you want to read it for yourselves, it is in the description. And, yeah, my voice is getting tired, and it's also literally 5 a.m. where I live. So, oh, wow, that's dark. Okay, so yeah, I'm just gonna go. Where's the end button? There it is. My flashlight was in the way. Alright, toodaloodles. And if you missed the stream, just rewatch it from the beginning. The story is in the description. Is a continuation of that one Undertale comic. You'll see the dub of it on YouTube. I know there's a dub of it on YouTube. So yeah. Cause yeah, like I said, the person who made the comic has been going through a lot of mental issues, and so they don't have the mental health right now to like finish the comic, and it definitely is a lot easier to type. So yeah, go check out the continuation of it in the description, or you could restart this live stream if you want to listen to me narrate it. And yeah. Oh, hey, Marble Animations. Thank you. I feel like I recognize your name from somewhere. I can't get it out of my head. 1 second. It may sound weird, but I'm about to search you up because I just feel like I recognize your name. And I can't quite place my finger on it. I can't tell if this stream is counting me as a viewer or if there are actually 2 people viewing it. Although it does say that 2 people have liked it, and I can't like my own stream while it's still streaming. But finally. Marble Animations. So do you actually make animations, or is that just your name for now? Yeah, it's not letting me like click on you, so I'm trying to like search you up. But yeah, if you've ever heard of the Undertale comic called Revolution Tale, it's really cool. But yeah, the author of it, they decided not to finish it in comic style anymore, and they decided to turn to book style or typing it out instead. So, and yeah, that's very understandable. Nothing gets me out of my head that you're a younger version of. Oh my gosh. That's the second time you've said that. I searched it up and I do not see it. I mean, maybe the facial structure, but yeah, not really. Other than that, I really don't see it. But yeah, Anina Pereira, 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 Anina Pereira. Yeah, watch the dub on YouTube. Glad to hear it's continuing. Even into yeah. If I had created a comic and I just was in a super depressive state, I would probably do the same thing that they did. I don't know their pronouns. I'm just going safe here and saying they. By the way, let me know if my mic is working good, because it's definitely a lot better than my actual computer's mic. I used this mic to record my recent Monkey Kid video. And freaking Gwendolyn Christie. I searched her up after you said that, and she's the freaking girl from Wednesday. Yeah, this part of the stream is just me like blabbing. I could do like a little out. I could do a little preview for the next chapter. Let's see. Revolution Tale, Chapter 4. Finish. Yeah, it's also. Yeah. You just gotta click the link in the description if you wanted to read it yourself. But here's a little preview of it being continued. Frisk, please hold still. I don't want to accidentally prick you. Nanny Obedience. By the way, the nanny's name is literally Obedience. Yeah. Nanny Obedience begged, trying to pin the day pass to Frisk's coat. The child, who was bouncing excitedly, ready to go on more adventures, did their best to hold still for a moment. Around them, monsters and humans alike were giving them curious glances, wondering why a child was going to be set free into the monster reservation. Are you sure this is a good idea, miss? One of the soldiers whispered to the nanny. They are just a child. It is what the general wishes. Plus, this child is stronger than they look. It's a toddler. She straightened Frisk's collar. All right, you remember what the professor told you, right? Frisk nodded, looking around at all the monsters walking past. Good. You be careful, okay? And please try to... Frisk! The child ran off as the nanny was talking, having caught sight of a familiar face. Sansy boy. Obedience shook her head, climbing back into the carriage. Take me home, please. Frisk didn't even look back as the carriage drove off. Their delight at spotting... Oh, Toriel. Damn. Plot twist. At spotting Toriel, giving them tunnel vision. Oh my! Toriel laughed, looking down at the child who had just wrapped their arms around her skirt. If it isn't my new friend. She looked around. What are you doing here? Didn't Sans take you home yesterday, as he promised? Frisk nodded energetically, then showed Toriel the day pass. At first she was confused, looking around again, as if someone was going to pop out and yell, "Haha, we got you," and arrest her. But no, there was no danger. Only human-hating monsters. Dirty looks came from every side, but when they saw who the human was with But when they saw who the human was with, they nodded respectfully and scurried away. It wasn't a secret that Mayor Asgore's wife was a human sympathizer, but if you wanted to stay out of trouble, you wouldn't bother her about it. Alright. I have to admit, I don't understand English very well, but it's a great life. Oh. Well, sorry to hear that. But yeah, that was the preview for Revolution Tale Chapter 4 Finn. It's literally just the next. I wonder if I could like put that in the description right now. No, I can't. I guess maybe I'll do it later. It does give me an option to edit. Eesh. Yeah, I'll put the second part in the description as well. Hopefully that saves. But yeah. Goodbye everyone. That's all for tonight. It is literally 5:30 where I live, and my shoulder is getting really tired from this position. So yeah, I was gonna give you all like a few seconds to say bye if you wanted to, but I guess this live stream is sort of the reveal that I know a little bit of ASL, just a little flex. So yeah, I'm gonna end it in about 10 seconds. Check the description for what I read. It's read the comic first or watch the dub first, and goodbye.